Hi Maurice.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, India?
Maurice, so do you know anything about ChessBase India?
Yeah, of course. I read those articles all the time. It's a lot of fun, very informative. Sayar is doing great work, so yes, I think it's known worldwide.
You know the commentary part, you are so energetic, fulfilled for the entire day, lively like the street which we have over here, always lively. Where do you generate this energy from?
You know, I think that for me, growing up in Brooklyn, growing up in Jamaica, you've got to bring it. In the parks and chess, everybody's always talking all the time, and you play with that, and to me it's like a sport. It's really not just chess sitting at the board thinking, but it's like an aggressive competition. And I get excited watching. I love watching the top players play, and you know, for me it's really just fun. And if it wasn't fun, I would be bored and there would be no energy.
There are a lot of commentators who are inspired by you. What would you like to tell to those commentators?
Well, I mean, again, like I said, you've got to make it fun. You've got to enjoy yourself. If you're having a good time, the audience has a good time. If you're just trying to be smart and show that you know all these variations, you can show all these possibilities, oh, I'm a grandmaster, so therefore let me show you just how intelligent I am. I don't play that game. People are watching that they're going to be in love with chess, and that's what it's all about. If you're not going to do that, then you're not really giving it to your audience. You're not respecting the audience first. And I know that a lot of players at the top level might not like my commentary, to be honest, because they feel like I'm not breaking it down in details and giving them like master level commentary, but I'm not speaking mainly to masters as far as I'm concerned. I'm speaking mainly to a broader audience, and a broader audience wants to enjoy watching the game, not being shown that, you know, I'm a grandmaster and I'm so smart that I can talk over their heads.
How can we inspire a lot of people to watch chess, and what do you think the future for chess is like?
I really think, frankly, that chess has changed into more like rapid and blitz. I think that's where the trend is going to go. Faster time controls, more excitement, more mistakes. I think the top players are starting to adjust to that. You look at the Grand Chess Tour and you see that the top players are willing to play, even though it's stressful, even though it's difficult, even though they're making mistakes, they're willing to do it to try a new experiment. Chess has for so long been stuck in like these hotels where you're playing in classical chess, games are lasting 5-6 hours. That's great. That's how I got good. That you've got to do that. That's a great discipline. But the average person is not going to watch that. They're just not. And even a lot of chess fans don't watch that. They watch it only after the fact. They only want to follow after the results are in. You need to bring some kind of new ideas, even if it's not rapid and blitz. I know Chess 960 is also getting some play. For me, whatever is new and different is fun. Try it, experiment with it, see what the audience thinks. And if it doesn't work, try something else. But to be stuck in the same formula all the time, to me, is real nonsense. And it bothers me when organizers just stick to the formula and don't do anything different, because, you know, doing the same thing over and over again is a recipe for craziness.
Maurice, as you said, I mean, you know chess boxing. So something like that you are trying to promote in terms of that, you know, the combination of two sports, it is just getting a pace now.
You know, chess boxing is crazy. I saw it for the first time, not last year, but the year before last in London. And there was a bigger audience there and a livelier audience than I've ever seen at a chess tournament. Maybe not bigger necessarily, it was a big audience, but it was livelier. People were cheering for chess moves, when people were just capturing pieces was a big deal in that place. And I think that it's interesting to see that experiment. I think it's a bit too far. I mean, my sister is a 5-time world champion boxer, so I understand the sport is fun, but chess boxing to me is a little bit of a gimmick. But I think trying something new is cool to me. It doesn't matter that maybe it's a little bit gimmicky, and maybe it's an acquired taste over time. But the fact that they tried, that they were willing to go out and do something different, to me, that's cool.
Maurice, you know, it's not only about your commentary. You're so versatile that it's also about your organizational skills. We all know about your playing skills, but also the organizational skills. So where did the Millionaires thought came from? I mean, this is happening, you're talking 10 years down the line that all the prize money should be around $1 million. That is a great thing, because if the game has the money, I mean, our game is going to go up. So how did this came in your mind? How did it work?
I'm a big sports fan, and many years ago I became a Grandmaster, and I realized that a mid-level, you might even call it not that strong, so to speak, Grandmaster like myself, would not make money at the game. But even the mid-level ones, even Grandmasters that were 2-6, we're not making money playing chess, and that is depressing. That's disgusting. Honestly, that's just ridiculous that that is the case. These people work all their lives to master this craft and can't make a living at it. So I thought, what should it be like? What is the vision for chess? What is the future going to be like for the game? And that's when the idea came in my head. I said it should be like $1 million prize funds. It should be like the NBA. It should be like football. It should be like baseball. It should be like tennis, boxing. It should be respectful and people should pay money for it. Now, of course, the spectatorship is not there. It's not like you're filling football stadiums with 100,000 people. So that's why the money has to follow the fans, right? So you have to make a product that the fans want to see. And so I understand the challenge is very difficult. And Millionaire was a big conception. It was a futuristic conception that didn't quite work, didn't do what we wanted it to do. But the idea is still there. How do you support the top players in their quest to try to do something, to try to make beyond just a living, right? They do so much. They should be superstars. And it's my respect for the top players that made me come up with the idea in the first place.
So you pointed out very well that because I read on your Facebook handle that it was the sponsorship issues. I mean, all the organizers around the world in chess are facing this kind of issues. What do you think this will, how can we bring more repute to the game and more sponsors to the game in terms of that we have more sponsors, more viewers? What should we do new? And I know that you are working a lot towards it. So can you explain more about your work regarding the same and how we can do that?
Well, I mean, first of all, I decided to back off organizing for a little bit because organizing is stressful. And I have much respect for organizers, let me tell you, because it's a lot of work. But the challenge, there are several challenges. First of all, businesses don't give money to things that's not a return. They're not charitable. People who like Rex Hinkfield, for example, who love chess, he gives a lot of money to chess because he loves it. If you can find somebody like that, then I mean, you just found an angel, right? So that is something special. For me, it was Amy Lee, but she was more about the business side, and she thought it was possible to make a business venture out of it. Once she realized it wasn't going to work from a business standpoint, she said, I'm sorry, I can't keep doing this because it doesn't work from a business standpoint. So we have to hope that businesses are convinced, or we have to at least try to convince them that it works for them, that there's going to be an audience, that is going to help their brand, that is going to show that their brand is going to, associated with chess, is going to show that they support intelligence, they support critical thinking, good decision making, and they support young people as well. So you have to convince, you have to make a real argument. You can't make some random, they're going to feel good, you're going to feel good about doing this argument. You have to really think deeply about how to attract those businesses in a way that convince top CEOs, people who are used to writing big checks, people who are used to analyzing real spreadsheets, looking at real numbers and saying, show me the numbers. You can show them the numbers and they listen. If you can't show them the numbers, then they're simply not interested.
So Maurice, I studied somewhere that we are missing on the corporate chess and the corporate world. So do you think that we should go to more corporates and do corporate trainings, which will make a big difference?
That's a great idea. I think that's a great idea. I mean, anything you can do, it's a long-term project though. Don't think that you're just going to show up at a business and they're going to be like, oh, I like you, here's some money. It is important that you develop a relationship with the businesses in your area. You might start small. It might be in children's tournaments. Get them to give you little donations so they can see, hey, this is having an impact. So then when you start talking to them about bigger events, they'll say, hey, I liked what we did initially. Let's build it bigger. I think that was a mistake in Millionaire, as a matter of fact, that even though I did a $500,000 tournament first, my next jump was to $1 million. And I think it was too big, too fast. I think if I were to say any mistake with Millionaire is that we didn't start it slow and experiment from the ground up and build and build and build. And maybe it started at $250,000, then go to 400,000. Just work our way up to that $1 million. I think it was like sticker shock when we just said boom and came out the gate. So I don't think we were really strategic about that. I think that in hindsight, that was a mistake. Well, now I can't go backwards. It kind of, even tried that in the third Millionaire. But I think anybody who has the vision for something like that, see it 4 or 5 years down the line, work towards a vision instead of trying to materialize it instantly. Unless, of course, you have a big sponsor when you can do it however you want.
Right. Maurice, there are a lot of fans in India who's seen Millionaires a lot. So do you think you are going to, come out of the break pretty soon, organizing this kind of events?
I will not organize another tournament unless there's a sponsor. I'm having too much fun doing what I do, doing commentary, traveling around the world. I got books that I'm planning to write. I have a TV show that I'm planning to work on or in the works. I can't really say much about it right now, but it's in the works. I'm doing too much stuff that is really keeping me happy and entertained. And for me to go back into organizing, which is something I think an organizer organizes. If you're going to organize, it's because that's your job. I will leave that to the organizers for now, unless somebody writes me a big old check and says, Maurice, you need to come back into business because we like your vision. Otherwise, I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Right. So Maurice, you just said something about the books and something about the TV show. But something can you tell you about the books to the Indian players which is coming up?
I'm working on the book, the first book. I don't want to say anything just yet. Just expect to hear more about it in the upcoming months. Right now, I'm collecting all the material, and I'm going to bring it all about. It's going to be on a topic that is not covered in chess right now. That I don't like replicating the wheel. I don't want to rebuild what has already been done. So I like topics that keep me interested, that is going to be fun for me, and I think it's going to be fun for the fans. So when it finally comes out, you'll say, this was not done in chess, and we're happy he did it.
Great. The last question from my side. You've just heard about Praggnanandhaa. He's the second most youngest Grandmaster in the history. What is your take on it?
First of all, congratulations. That's amazing that he's done it. I saw him play in St. Louis. I got to do commentary on his games in St. Louis. The kid's a genius. The kid's fantastic. You should be proud in India. Around the world, we're all amazed. We're mystified. We're looking forward to seeing him become a great player. All those players who did things at young ages end up becoming top players in the main. And the fact that he's so close to Sergei Karyakin, who's now one of the top 10, 12 players in the world, was a world championship challenger. That means that after Anand, India for sure is going to have another player in the elite few, and I think it's him. And as long as he keeps it up and he stays humble, like he looks very humble, he's a nice young man, very impressed by him, I think you have a future superstar. He's already a star, but a future superstar on your hands.
Thank you. Thank you, Maurice.
My pleasure.
A big thank you from India.
Thank you.